This is going to look terrible. It's probably going to sound terrible. It's different. I get it. It's super wide. It's going to be a shorty, maybe, probably. Let me just turn down the game a bit. I can't actually see the level for the game. Bring it down just a little bit. That should do the job. Right. So the groove here. Just a quick test stream of my normal-ish stream setup. That looked like there was a bit of lag there, but it didn't seem like it dropped any significant frames going between the two. Let's have a look. There probably are going to be some drop frames, but it's not actually OBS itself. In the frame count on the side isn't having a huge hissy fit about it. So as it stands, we seem to be doing alright, although the Steam Deck doesn't seem to be particularly happy with Dragon's Dogma. See if we can fix that. This is using the Steam Deck, I think on, Game Info, verified to work with Steam Deck. I think this is just using the standard Proton. So what we'll do is go to Proton Experimental, as I did for pretty much everything. So this is using the Chuwi MiniBook X, which is an Intel N100 processor. As a Celeron, or what was considered a Celeron back in the day, with Intel Iris graphics. It's a 10-inch, effectively a 10-inch netbook. I think it runs something like 6 to 15 watts, something like that. Running Windows 11. Cheap as chips. You can buy these really cheap. They fall into the same category as like a Minisforum, like mini PC that you can buy for like 200 quid. This is one of those transformable dealios where you can fold it over and write on it and all that. And I was the whole point was I was actually going to set this up to run Linux. So I got it. Let's go back to the camera. I got it and like set everything up, and it comes with Windows 11 by default. Set it up. I didn't like the way they had Windows 11 configured because it was a kind of a not a custom Windows install, but it wasn't your base. Put in your username, set up a Windows account, and everything kind of goes from there. It was one of those, you don't need a Windows account, put in a name, put in a password, and everything else is kind of already configured for the machine. I didn't like that. So I went and installed Fedora on it, and was actually really disappointed in, after setting everything up, that whilst initial performance seemed great, once I got into OBS, all of a sudden, performance was trash. Plug in this web camera and my capture card, and all of a sudden, without recording or anything, it just fell apart. Completely fell apart. Even though there's a computer underneath what this is sitting on, the machine underneath it is technically slightly less powerful on CAN benchmarks than the Chuwi. Yet that can actually can stream. So I was like, what the hell's going on? Went back to quickly install Windows just to see if that helped any. That was a ball ache because it's a tablet screen. So it was going in portrait rather than landscape. And the trackpad didn't work because obviously it's a generic Windows install or Windows installer. It didn't have the drivers built in for the touchpad or the touch screen or anything like that. So I had to hub up and get a mouse. I actually did the whole thing really with tab and space because the keyboard still worked. And the screen was sideways. So I went through, formatted the drive, installed Windows, set that up. Networking didn't work, so I had to hook in wired over a dongle. And I Yeah, wonderfuls. But got it installed, and then went to the Chuwi website, pulled down the drivers that Windows didn't have, just pulled down a driver pack for the machine, went to Device Manager, installed all the drivers, and then from that point on, everything seems to be running okay. Touchscreen works, trackpad works, speakers are trash anyway. All your keys and shortcuts and things like that work. And I went into OBS and set it up exactly how I set it up before on Linux. And all of a sudden, we weren't losing frames. Like, so just having the camera hooked up and the capture card hooked up, it went from 60 FPS without recording, without streaming. Just the report at the bottom right corner of the screen was like, oh yeah, you're only running at like 25 FPS. I was like, that's a bit bollocks. I mean, this probably isn't smooth, but I'll take it. And yeah, so we went back to Windows, and now it's claiming 1080-60. There'll probably be some encoder lag stuff going on, but it seems to be okay. Just to answer the piss take there, Pixel, is I'll just grab a camera. It's this. Just a little. I mean, there's my hand in comparison to the laptop. And I've got 8-inch hands, so that's nearly. I think it's like a 10-point-something inch laptop. So, yeah, not bad. It's an N100. It's worth about $200. We're gonna see if we can get. All I want it to do is encode. I don't need it to play games or anything like that. I just need it to encode. I wanted to do it all on Linux, but as I say, Linux had some performance issues. I guess maybe things weren't being properly accelerated, or the CPU, GPU was being throttled because of bad drivers. Linux has always had issues with Celerons, in my experience, or at least the distros of Linux that I've run have had issues keeping Celerons turboed. It often lets them kind of go back to their somewhat idle state, which is really low power. Because I had an ASRock B-Box, and instead of that thing being turboed and staying turboed, it would sit at like, 700 meg. Okay, so changing Proton didn't fix the. Please tell me I synced up my save. I can't pick a save, can I? I just. Oh yeah, we're here. Are we losing frames? The preview looks terrible. Is that looking smooth to people, or is that starting to look laggy? Because the preview's not looking fantastic. On the actual on the telly, it's looking pretty smooth. Inky says it's looking all right to her, but oh, we are getting a bit of stutter on the Steam Deck. So, oh, there you go. Yeah. So.
You are to see me for your assignments, and no one else. I speak for His Grace on such matters.
We've had an issue like that before, Pixel, with the weird kind of TV scanning thing, but I can't quite put my finger on what it was and why.
Pray, make your choice, sir. I would ask you to seek out evidence in the trial of Fornival. Material evidence, testimonies, witnesses. The more proof, the better. The inquest has but a few days remaining. I've faith you'll find the truth in time.
Is it smooth now? Because I'm wondering if some of them stutters were just where the Steam Deck was having a minor hissy. Because the actual FPS counter on OBS says that it's okay. Yeah, according to this, I've only lost 2 frames. But I mean, in the grand scheme of things,
inquest will not wait for us long.
As I recall, Thorneville has a daughter, a young woman.
Well met, sir.
Someone must know something about this matter. Let's ask around.
I mean, at the moment, I'll kind of take it, considering. That would be the Steam Deck. That's a Gamma issue with Linux. That happens a lot. So if you play something like Zombie U as a note, you have to manually set the graphics card's Gamma higher to be able to see anything in the dark. Because you know where a game says, adjust the screen brightness left and right to do whatever. Those don't ever really seem to work on Linux. So, because I am playing on the Steam Deck at the moment, not on the Chuwi. The Chuwi is just capturing the Steam Deck. Really, this is kind of a Granblue test to see if we get a better overall image at 1080-60 without it falling apart, versus what the what's it called was doing. Map. Oh, so we have to go into the.
Thorneville stands trial? 'Tis a pity. In truth, the man was profligate. His ostentation earned him envy and enmity in equal parts. But he was not the sort of man to seek profit in the fortunes of others. I will add my name to the petition. I shall pray that his innocence is proven.
Oh, mate, see, even on like I say, on Linux, mate, that wouldn't even work for you. That'd be brutal. Like, you'd be making the adjustment, and it would do literally nothing. It's, that's quite a horror at times when you want to...
Someone in the castle must be the Knights champion.
When you want to play certain games. I assume at some point they will fix that kind of stuff. But as it stands, it's still kind of broken.
Blustering fools just barged in. They hold me prisoner like some common criminal. 'Tis madness and base insult. You there, you're an able sort. There's time yet afore my trial is decided. Pray, arrange for my acquittal however you may. If you see me through this storm, I'll sell to you at cost for the rest of my days. 'Tis a generous offer, eh? Now go, and pray put an end to this farce. I am eager to be quit of this confinement. Please, sir.
I should have really picked something that I could guarantee the performance of.
The blustering fool. There's, if you, 'tis now go.
Faunival's to remain captive until such time as he's acquitted.
Yeah, I'm somewhat hopeful for this. As I say, if it works, and it's smooth enough. I mean, if frame rate issues during transitions, I'm not particularly bothered by. Stutters whilst capturing, I am, because I would like to use this for other stuff. No, mate, I get you.
Who among you has seen the dragon? Who saw it?
I'm too old for this. I can't. You see that mini-map, man? I can't use that mini-map for bollocks.
A place one can live without fear.
Grand Soren, the beating heart of all Grand Cities.
So what have I got to see? What's out here now? Okay, so let's go in. Oh my God, that's miles away. Game had to, didn't it? Absolutely had to.
Roads with traveling peddlers, guardsmen, and other folk. A good start to any task is talking with others. Let's begin with that.
We're gonna Gwen this up, man. We gotta do it.
Are you all right, Master?
We are fine.
Seems all roads lead to Grand Soren.
This is quite a bit darker, isn't it?
Grand Soren stands beyond this way castle. Keep an eye turned to the shadows. The canyon floor is an apt spot to find ourselves surrounded. We'd best be careful. We are near half between the encampment and the capital, I warrant.
I need more stamina, man. This is nuts.
This path runs the canyon floor. We'll need to stay wary.
Get him!
They're armed, Master.
Ow.
Wait for an opening.
Wow, it's dark.
They're left exposed after a grand strike.
I'll take down the most troublesome of them. They attack in quick succession.
Aha! Am I going?
Watch your step.
I don't know if I'm going the right way.
Harpy!
The pass is treacherous, Master. Holds like this one are crucial in warding the capital from monsters. One slip and it's a long fall down. I shall restore your health. Hold on. Quite the cascade.
Oh,
I'd
pish.
not like to attempt that fall.
So I need to go. Ugh. Fucking hell.
Like the grand structure.
I'm starting to look for Jalnanas too. I got this random craving to actually play
You cannot leave such
Steins
an
Gate
opening.
recent. Because I could get away with playing visual novels on this. So I might have to. That's one of the first things I do with like all the mini PCs I've got. Cannot play Steins Gate. It's like, well, I bloody hope so.
Let's be doubly sure of which
Hang on. This is too. Where's. Cannot play Doom. Nothing can really play. So it's still really dark. Use your light then.
fireworks well.
Is a troubling foe.
I can remember back when the Raspberry Pi first came out. That was the big selling point to my lot, which is really silly. Raspberry Pi 1 comes out. It's the equivalent of a 233 or something like that, right? And the one thing that the Raspberry Pi Foundation said, hey yo, by the way, it runs Linux, it costs not very much money, it's credit card size, it plays Quake 3. And we're like, we're in.
We could be ambushed. Stay alert. Your mare hit them swinging blindly.
They're armed, Master.
That one!
Tis weak to fire. They're left exposed after a grand strike.
That's the only other problem as well with a 10-inch screen, like the text is smaller than my dick. Oh, for fuck's sake!
Consciousness.
I'll take down the most troublesome of them. Counter after they.
Did you lot really need me to do that? Clearly the answer is yes.
Counter after they. No, they hold the advantage.
Leave it to me.
We attack in quick succession.
They hold the advantage as you run them through.
They're left exposed after a grand strike.
I just want to throw out there, man. Quake 1 and 2 are fun. Oh, for fuck's sake. Who keeps killing... Oh, shoot. Ow. Save Divine. Oh, great, my healer's down. Divine, mate, could you stop sleeping on the job? Evening, Divine. How you doing, man?
Wait for an opening.
We're doing a quality test, mate.
They hold the advantage.
Strength in numbers arisen. 'Tis certain death to fall from such a height.
There's a buzzy sound coming from the power unit of this. It's either that or it's the fan. No more like this thing's probably going to explode by the end of the day.
Sorcerer, perhaps
Keep moving.
We need but take this road north to find Gamsora. The road splits here. Let's be doubly sure of which find out where.
That's all good, man. This is how my preferred seating method. I'm not used to being a rich guy with a chair, so I gave it to William. I was like, you could just sit on the sofa behind you. Ah, shoulder.
This isn't the way to the capital. I wonder where it leads. Who knows what lies in wait? Let's proceed with caution.
But yeah, let me know if we start getting drop frames and wobbliness. I know the audio is going to be a bit distant and all that, but we are literally testing a very cheap and cheerful computer from China. Sadly, not capable of running Linux to a level that I would have liked. It seems that the drivers don't... Certain software doesn't appear to be accelerated properly on Linux, so I had to come back to Windows on it. But that same software seems to be running okay on Windows. Is that job experience? Sacrificing a seat for a child? I gave up my seat for a child. Is that like giving up my chair on an airplane for a fat chick? Oh, how dare you call my wife fat, woman in the living room? Did you hear that? Random bird in the living room called my wife fat. How dare you? Television watchdar. Yeah, staggered, you little bitch. Oh, hang on, gotta catch my breath. Hang on. Hang on. Oh, God. Ow. Thank you, team. Tail's gone. Attack it once it's dead, and then I can claim I did some work. Alright. 'Cause what about me? It's Charlie. No, you're not. Leave the Chimera alone. Leave it alone. I swear my team is an absolute bollock. Leave the monster alone! Ah.
I'll take that. Leave it to me.
Oh, excellent! You got a cat. So, did you have to use window capture to get Deus Ex going? Because you got to remember, it's a proper old game. That. Are you actually? Oh, motherfucker! The fucking mage has just fucked down the fucking cliff. A fucking silly cow.
I was clumsy.
Yeah, you fucking were, you silly slag. Language. I can't believe you're actually going to try and stream it. Just get intimate relationship with the quick save key, mate. I assure you, you're going to need it. And I'm not trying to put you off on that one. Just it's one of those old games that's really quite. I'm gonna fucking batter her in a minute. Oh no, I'm gonna die! But yeah, does the frame rate look smooth? That question.
Even in numbers, a weakling is a weakling still.
Strength in numbers arisen. Some tests may require difficult choices. Be ready for anything.
What's this?
The goblins of this forest have a taste for human flesh.
You'll be fine now. This path runs the canyon floor. We'll need to stay wary.
It's far stronger than a common goblin.
Keep an eye turned to the shadows. The canyon floor is an apt spot to find ourselves surrounded. We'd best be careful. You'll be fine now. What purpose do you suppose those men serve?
An inquest, eh? Cheers. I welcome the diversion. I know 'tis improper to say so, but you'll not deny the thrill of awaiting judgment. Though it's the rare trial that's not decided before it begins, if truth be told. Proofs are easily falsified. Testimony still more so. There's always someone with cause to want one outcome or the other, and the means to ensure it. Which brings me to a very special deal for you, friend.
Oh, do you mean the there was a conference a few years ago, weren't there, where they were talking about their process and where they come up with the dev plan and then threw like half of it out on that. Well, I mean, the thing is, though, it didn't really come out on console. So, I mean, if you weren't into PC at the time... Oh, okay, cool. Actually, thanks for reminding me. I've got a hook signal up to this. So I'll do that after this mission.
Writs of affidavit for sale at bargain rates. I've statements of their guilt or innocence. Quite the clever forgeries, these. They always sell well when there's an inquest on. And why not? 'Tis a heady thing to buy a man's guilt or innocence. If you've mistaken the trial's result, you'd be a fool not to. I'll disavow we ever spoke if asked, mind. The choice is yours to make. My prices ebb and flow with the tides of the trial. Still, 'tis a small price for justice. You'll not regret it, friend. Make good use of it, and remember, I've more where that came from. Back in need of an affidavit, friend? Far be it from me to stint supply where there's demand. You'll pay my price, though. 'Tis only right, you'll sure agree. You'll not regret it, friend. Make good use of it, and remember, I've more where that...
How many can he fucking sell?
Far be it from me to stint supply. You'll pay my price, though. No, now, let us talk of business.
Oh, I like that. Because that takes down weight as well.
Now, let us talk of business. You'd be a fool. Pray, call it...
But yeah, really hopeful for this setup now.
Please don't overdo it.
Don't worry. I am here.
Like I said, I don't expect it to be as good as, say, Belial.
This path runs the canyon
I don't even really expect it to run as well as the Mac. But if it does the job...
We could scale this mountain, provided we sort out the shallowest slopes.
Now arisen! End it! Help me! What a gap! It threw a blast!
Let's have its armor and shield off!
Rout them in a single charge! Now arisen! End it! We have triumphed.
Did it! Leave it to me.
Yeah, it looks alright. For the age, it looks alright. But then I'm not a huge... I'm not going to complain too much about graphics in the grand scheme. It probably doesn't look as good as it could. But then, by the same token, and I'm going to sound like a right twat here, I don't think a lot of current games look particularly fantastic these days. When you compare like mechanics to graphics, I think in a lot of cases we've started to focus a little bit too much on the pretties and not so much on the loop. Because as the pretties go up, you have to make the games more appealing to average Joe, making them easier for average Joe, because they cost more to make because they look prettier.
Trouble may lie in wait here. Best be ready for anything.
Does that look smooth to you on stream, or is that stuttering like it is in my preview? So it looks like it's running at like 5 FPS. Is that smooth or stuttery to you guys? Sorry, now I'm going to have to look myself because... Smooth, okay. Sorry, it's just because I really want to know what this machine is capable of. Yeah, smooth. It's smoother on the... Yeah, smooth. It's smoother on the... It's smoother on my phone than it is on the preview, so that's a bonus. Hush up, you.
Careful, a goblin!
Not long now.
Yeah, sorry guys, I shouldn't really be kind of, you know, fussing over it too much, but I'm just I'm not going to lie, I'm quite impressed by what this is capable of.
Monsters arisen! Ready yourself!
I'll serve as bait. Strike the tail. Sever the tail to weaken the beast.
What I need to do is the Grand Blue test on the Mac, or the Mac equivalent test using this, because if it turns out this thing works better, oh my god. I have no idea what just happened there, but he leapt up into the air and his tail fell off. What the fuck has just happened? Apparently we're fighting a chimera at the same time. That's another thing as well that they're focusing on now, or at least I find they're focusing on. They're going for more game length and pretties than actual quality and gameplay, which is quite sad, because then you find that you've got a game that looks rather nice, but is, in the grand scheme of things, so bloody boring.
Seems fairly shallow.
Which way am I going?
Head softly.
The lay of the land defies conventional travel. Let us climb and leap as we must.
Let's come back a bit.
What's that?
Yeah, and that's kind of it. I mean, I will say this game is
Uneven footing. Watch your
very
step.
thin. It's very small. It's a lot smaller than I expected it to be, if I had to be completely honest with you. And I feel that a lot of the quests are... The length of the quests are forced. So, for example, did I really need to go and speak to that merchant
Be lovelier still without
to do this quest, even though the quest marker was there?
a wealth of materials lies close, I believe. Fire, lend thy kiss!
No, my luck, the guy's going to be guilty or whatever, or I'm going to get done for forgery or some shit like that, but...
Even in numbers, it's a weakling still. Forest rocks are off-coated thick in moss.
They seem to be trying to make the game... They're trying to make the quests longer and longer and longer, but the quests don't actually have any substance. Oh... And so, like, traversal of the map isn't necessarily fun.
Seems suspicious. Armed rogues!
Shall we jump? It might shorten our path. Or our lives. Look, there's a stronghold of some sort by the sea. Range wants a mine. I'll blind them! No, they won't be enough!
After they strike.
I shall find it! No, they hold me advantage! It was clumsy.
quickly!
Strength in numbers. Wolves hunt in packs. Enter after they strike. Armed bandits arisen. What a splendid number.
I know there are bandits. They're always here. They spawn in the same place every time we come through.
Sick 'em, boys.
That's how it was, this.
Watch for falling rocks as we walk the slopes, Master.
Leave it to me.
See, Shadow's fine. Like, I never finished it, but that one was fine. It's just, again,
We're apt to meet
when a
bandits and
game,
thieves as oft as peddlers
when a
are
game is
also. Be
designed
watchful.
that way for the sake of, like, it's the purpose of the hunt. Like, taking down the epic beast is the thing, right? But in this, I mean, all I've done thus far is go here, 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 over here, here, down to here, and it's like, but it takes ages. Just to travel that area takes ages, and it's over and over and over again. It's the same enemies spawning in the same places every single time, and it's just...
Who knows what lies in wait?
And then these geezers chatting all the time, telling me about ambushes that we've seen like 10 times, 15 times, 20 times. It's like, Jesus Christ, we know the world is actually incredibly small and incredibly thin,
The crags have
but the more they
like
talk,
all manner of
the worse it
Stay
gets,
ready.
you know? You move so slow over the you know, over the main map, and you see, look, more bandits. They're here every single time.
Grand strike. Now, attack! We could be ambushed. Stay alert.
I'll heal your wounds.
They've probably added in more chatter though, Divine, that's the trick. I think we might have actually played it for longer than that, Pixel. This game does not need to be a... Like, some of my lot have played it for 30 odd, 40 odd hours. This game does not need to be 40 odd hours. That is incredibly inflated for 40 hours. It's just a lot of backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. There's no need for it.
There's uneven footing. Watch your step.
I mean, we are about halfway, a good halfway through the game at this point, but it's just, it's halfway through the game with nothing going on, or what feels like nothing going on.
Strength in numbers arisen.
The plot is thin, mechanically it's pretty weak, the world map is boring. I'm not saying it's not fun, but just there could be so much more going on, and I don't quite understand how this got to be as popular as it is. Well, actually, that's not entirely true, is it? Because when we looked at the Steam stats, most people quit by now. Because you're not going anywhere. It's not like you're moving. It's not like you're moving forwards, and they've limited fast travel as well to make the world seem bigger.
Quite the grand structure. A way castle, perhaps.
I shall restore your health. Hold on.
I mean, let me just have a quick look. Hang on, can I see it? Hopefully it hasn't just closed the game. 15.3 hours we're on. But it feels a lot longer. And the fact that most of it has been walking around this incredibly dull map. Just backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. Like, I'm avoiding combat now. I'm just avoiding combat. There has to be a way to fast travel. I'm sure they said there was a way to fast travel in this. Outside of the crystals. But I can't remember what the fuck it was. So chances are it's actually my fault that this feels longer than it is, if you know what I mean. I installed Trial of the Avatar recently. I've been wanting to play that again with people for quite some time, but again, trying to get my group together is... well... So I really enjoyed that game, and we've now all actually got hardware capable of playing the damn thing. Just port crystals and fairies, but port crystals are rare in this. They're quite rare. They're always here. It's the same kind of thing I had with Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima, though, is a gorgeous looking game. But it's also very, 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 very empty. Which I will be going back to, which is funny. I'm complaining about how empty the game is, but I'm going back to it.
Grab hold of one!
Now! Strike!
Take my fire!
I turn to the shadows.
So I kind of... This isn't really the best example of it, but... Like, at least in an Elder Scrolls game, or... say a Final Fantasy game, you are always moving to a new location. Always moving to a new location. Whereas in this, it's just backwards and forwards down the same few paths over and over again. And someone could say, "Oh, it'll open up soon." It's like, yeah, but I am a good third to halfway through this game, and all I've done is go backwards and forwards.
A good start to any task is talking with others. Let's
The
begin
Duke's
with that.
burden is great, between his duties as sovereign and the worm hunt.
Yeah, see, the stones for fast travel are limited though, aren't they?
Suited for human life.
And I figured, as bad as it sounds, I figured I'd save them until I was absolutely mentally numb to the game.
Have you equipment to enhance?
You know when you get to that point, you're like, I just want this over with and I want it done quickly. That's the point where I figured I'd use the teleportation stuff, the fast travel stones. So I figured if I used them early, when I didn't need to, and then I got to the point where I was like, you know what, I've had enough of this, I'd have no way to speed things up. But then I will say, I'm not saying the game's bad. I've just pointed out a shite ton of not so particularly pleasant things about it. But it's not bad, it's just slow.
You are to see me for your assignment. I speak for His Grace. Pray, make your choice, sir. I would ask you to seek out evidence in the material evidence. Test the inquest. Good. You've brought evidence. Here, I shall see it submitted to the court. There's time yet, sir. Pray.
See, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. I think that's why Capcom have done it. Because they've put in microtransactions into number 2, haven't they? To speed it up. Because they know if they make it tedious enough, people will drop real money to get through the game faster. And that's a horrible fucking thing. Absolutely horrible. Sure, I mean, I could see that, Divine. Like, I could see how in 2012, playing a demo of this, you'd go, wow, there could be so much in this. But then when you actually play the full game and you realise, hang on a minute, there isn't anything in it.
You are to see me.
Kind of like when you watch a modern film trailer and you find that all of the best bits have already been shown in the trailer.
I speak for His Grace. Pray, make your... I would ask you material evidence, testimony. The inquest has but a few days remaining. I think... you've brought evidence. Here, I shall see it submit. There's time yet, sir. You are to see me. I speak. Pray. I would ask material evidence. The ink. Good. You've brought it. Here. There's time. You are to see me for your... I speak for his grace. Pray. In that case, inform me at once when you might... The weight of duty, like...
I hear old Fornival is the subject of an... His conviction would bring me no joy, not least for the loss of revenue I would suffer. Arisen, I have a proposition, sir. I've long had dealings with Fornival, and want to believe in his innocence. Pray, take a petition for his acquittal from me, that it may help sway his arbiter. I entrust my petition. I cannot afford to let old Fornival leave this mortal.
You are to see me for your... I speak. Pray. I would ask material evidence. The inquest... Good. You've brought evidence. Here. I shall see it submitted. There's time yet, sir. Pray. Continue.
How do I make this quest stop?
Seems like Fornival may be
Well
found
met,
innocent.
sir.
Anytime.
Blustering fool. You, there's time. If you, 'tis a now go, and pray put an end.
Fornival is under lock and key.
Because there are no quests outside of the city. Oh, hang on. Yes, there is. There's something up north. Ugh. Right. Right, I want to do that quest handling bit at the north thing first.
No different countries, cities, people.
I'm with you on that one, Pixel. I try to avoid trailers and dev talks and stuff like that, because any time someone reviews something or chats shite about something, it's always a disappointment. They hype stuff up. There was a guy we knew years ago who was obsessed with Guild Wars 2, right? And by the time we all got into Guild Wars 2, we were so sick and tired of hearing about Guild Wars 2, there was no way it could live up to the hype. And whilst it was a solid game, it wasn't enough to pull us out of that kind of funk.
Castle walls? Or the ruins of such?
And that's the other thing as well, how game mechanics they tend to get horribly boiled down.
This place.
You know, but which is also partly the fault of gamers, because we tend to find easy exploitable loops and then use those over and over again. It's not the game's fault that it's mechanically boring, but if we find something that works, we take the path of least resistance. And I do that a lot. I find a path or a pattern, and I will exploit that to no end just to get through the game. And so, but the thing is, if your game isn't designed well enough to require me to use those extra mechanics, I'm not going to. But by the same token, I can't stand being forced into a particular play style.
The roads are safer than the brush, but still, we'd best stay wary. This must have been built ages ago.
Yeah, last week by the looks of it. Oh, stamina.
We'll be fine now. A bridge will serve as a fine landmark. The road splits here. Let's be doubly sure of which will see us to our destination.
Look over there. Is that some sort of structure?
I never got to the. I will say I never got to the end. I never got to that fight. Never got to that fight. Twilight was fine. I just kind of eventually kind of wore off of it. Same with what's it called? Twilight Princess. Oh, what's the water one? Wind Waker. Which is really sad actually, because I bought Wind Waker and then my copy of Wind Waker got stolen. And then my wife bought me a replacement copy of Wind Waker, and then my GameCube collection got lifted. But again, though, I'm fine with cheese strats. I'm fine with cheese strats as long as the entire game isn't thinly veiled cheese.
It is weary work, standing guard in hostile lands. Morale can falter.
Sir Dario knew something of Faunable, I believe. Leave it to me.
I think to be honest, my favourite Zelda game is probably still the one on the Super Nintendo. I used to consider myself a big Zelda fan, but even going back to Zelda now, I'm like, I don't know if I can stomach this stuff anymore. I like my story to have more meat on it. And I can think of many other games that have more meat on their bones, RPG-wise. Or even action-wise, or whatever.
Even the dragon's coming is not enough to unite men's hearts as one.
The messenger brought word of Fornival's trial. More's the pity. He furnished our arms at quite the favorable rate. We'll be as cats without claws, should he be kept from doing business. I do not know the man well, but I cannot stand idly by and see him convicted. Testimony given in person will carry more weight than a missive, yet I cannot leave this place. Pray, take one of my men with you back to the capital. He will speak in my place. You do Fornival a service, sir, and us with you. I will send word ahead for a man to await you. Pray, speak to him directly. And arrange for a man.
It's like East, for example. The first few East games are very, very, very thin. However, you also always find yourself going to completely different locations all of the time. So there's always something different going on. You always find yourself learning new skills, learning new tricks.
I'm called Castor. Sir Dario has informed me of my duties. I'm thankful to have you accompanying me to the capital. Shall we be off? Very well, sir.
We must see the witness safely back to the capital.
Let no harm come to our charge!
Are you all right, Master?
It's weary work, standing guard in hostile lands. Morale can falter. Every beast has its weakness. Observe closely and learn to exploit it.
Careful! A goblin!
Before setting off, we have to equip ourselves to see our
We'll rout them in a single charge.
I'll go at once.
Very well!
We must hurry.
I'm on my way.
I'll go at once.
Very well!
The roads are safer than the brush, but still, we'd best stay wary. Stray from the roads, and we'll soon find monsters arisen. The road splits here. Let's be doubly sure of which will see us to our destination. Even the capital is not without its dangers. Best we remain cautious, Risen.
among you has seen the dragon? Who saw...
Salvation and the Knights Champion.
Alright, let's get this geezer to here.
At present, seems like Thornival may be found innocent.
You are to see me for your assignment. I speak for His Grace on this. Pray, brought a witness, have you? Excellent work. I shall see to the necessary accommodations until the day of the trial. There's time yet, sir. Pray. You are to... I speak... Pray, make your choice, sir.
At present, seems like Thornival may be found innocent.
Had this period a fair few years ago when I watched 100% Zelda games. Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess. Not a fan of Majora's Mask. I got quite good at that kind of stuff though, Pixel, to be honest. And 64's controls were quite solid once you got used to them. Because I used to play a lot of Wave Race. A lot of Wave Race. Whilst that didn't necessarily need super precise stick input, you couldn't just wing it and get away with it, so...
Remember to save enough for lodging.
I hear no end of praise for your feat. An audience with the Duke now. Have your pick. Any you like. What will it be today? Understood.
Is that the end of the quest?
Aye, the inn offers a clean bed, but it deals in vocations and skills besides.
A fellow would be just a jeep, friend. Just a jeep. Have your pick. Any you like. What will it be today? What will it be today? What will it be? Have your pick. Any you like. Come again soon.
Business is rosy and still on the rise. Perhaps it's that idol I should thank for the fine mood I'm in. The master works all. The master works all. The master works all. You can't go wrong. Come again.
A fellow would be smart. Just a cheap. Have your pick. Any you like. What will it be today? Understood.
This is fun, isn't it? What's going to happen when the servers go down for this game, I wonder?
When do you suppose the trial is? We'd best
We've
hurry.
time yet before the inquest is set to start.
Yeah, 2 days remaining. I don't care about the 2 days remaining. I've gathered all of the stuff that I can. There are no more quests in the city. No more mapped locations. That's the forger, and I worry about handing in any forged materials, because that'll probably go against the guy. See, and you know there's going to be stuff all over here. There has to be, right? There has to be.
You'll find naught but the manses are wealthy. Well, I suppose there could be some among.
You know what? I think I'm going to call this stream done. I don't even know what time it is, actually. Oh, 20 past midnight. I'm definitely calling this one done. So, just to recap on the stream. We were running at 1080-60, I think, using... God, my camera's set to 1080-60, although that probably won't display very well at 1080-60, to be honest, because it's only USB 2. So we're using the Chuwi MiniBook X N100 netbook. So it's a couple $100. The Genki Shadowcast Pro 2 for the capture. Steam Deck. So all this was being used for was Encode. The microphone was a Blue Yeti Nano at a distance, no processing, which would explain again why it sounded so kind of This is only outputting at 720p, the Steam Deck, so I wasn't properly stressing this thing with full-on 1080 in that. Hang on. Console captures the capture card. I have it currently set to 1080-60. Telling it to use hardware acceleration and that. Those transitions are the bits that I expect to be causing the problems. Yeah, there you go. We've lost 2 frames due to rendering lag and 2 frames due to encoding lag. But that's just literally on doing those transitions. Those transitions have always stressed out machines. If I change that to fades, that'll never happen. Never happen. So, all in, I don't know how the actual stream itself looked. I might have to go in for a more hardcore game at some point, like fire up Grand Blue again off of like a laptop or something that can actually push a full-blown high-resolution, high frame rate and see how it handles that. But just to get a stream done, I'd say this is, assuming that the frame rate that should have been smooth was smooth, I'll take it. If the audio seems a bit out of sync, it's because I didn't actually bother setting up buffers or anything, so that's something I'd normally do. Well, the idea that this is probably doing a better job, I hate to say, than the MacBook Air, which is an £800 laptop, or between £800 and £1,000 laptop. The fact that when you put a low motion scene on the Mac, it fell apart. This laptop is, you can get this for $200. $200. And it'll happily stream, because obviously the Mac can't play the game, but neither can this. All this has to do is encode like the Mac does. And the Mac couldn't encode with the processor either, like this can't. So it's all down to hardware encoders, QSV from Intel or Apple's hardware encoder. If it turns out that this doesn't fall apart, there's very little reason to recommend the £800 or £900 Mac over, say, a £200 10-inch netbook. Just saying. So the fact that this is working as well as it does is quite impressive. But then I ain't gonna know unless I look back at the stream and go, oh yeah, that was actually quite smooth. If I start seeing visible kind of degradation in the frame rate, I'll be like, not sure about that. But you know, if I go there, so these are the bits I expect to go bad. Look, when I go one, like those will always have a bit of lag or eventually cause encoder lag. But if the gameplay was a somewhat solid 60, even when the Steam Deck was reporting 60 in the top corner, I'll take that. I don't mind the occasional like little bit of drop, but because the when the Mac went funny, when the Mac did that pulsing, you couldn't forgive that. You just couldn't forgive that. Okay, cool, man. I'll set this up. I'll set it up. But yeah, it just like I say, if this works, that'll be amazing. It'll be absolutely amazing. Because I have to use the same number of dongles on this as I do on the Mac, because the Mac has only got 2 USB ports. This has only got 2 USB ports. But yeah. It was, and that's the weird thing. We can't figure out why. And if it turns out a £200 netbook does the same job, like, as well or better, I'll take it. Do I expect it to be as good as my Legion? No. Legion was an £800 gaming laptop. Do I expect it to be as good as Belial, my main PC? No, because Belial's about £2,000 worth of hardware. But the idea that I could hook this up to, say, a PlayStation 5 and play Ghost of Tsushima at 60 frames a second and stream it at 60 frames a second, that's great. And even if this couldn't do 1080-60, I'd be happy with 720-60. You know? But yeah, so far, FPS 60, average time to render frames 7.9 milliseconds. For 60 FPS, that's 16 point something milliseconds. It has to go, otherwise it'll skip a frame or miss a frame. Frames missed due to rendering lag, 5. Frames missed due to encoding lag, 5. Frames dropped due to network, none. And the number of frames that we've spat out, you're talking, what is that? 312,000. So, you know, it's not bad, huh? That's not bad. So yeah, gonna head off. Pixel Divine, thanks for coming to hang out. Just hit save and then quit. Save and return to title. Yeah. But we'll see how this goes. Right, I'll go pair up to Signal and Discord, and then awesomeness. Also, just as another note, actually, you can get a pencil for this. It's a touchscreen. You can get a stylus for it. Chuwi make a stylus for it for 20 quid, so you can use it as a drawing tablet. Because the screen folds back on itself. Just figured I'd throw that out there. So you can edit video on it. You can stream on it. I say this is actually probably... do you remember when I had that old Linux machine? That old burner PC? I say it's probably got about as much grunt as that, just not for gaming. But yeah. Guys, thanks for coming to hang out. Hope you're all well. And I'll see you all, with a bit of luck, in the next one. Have a good one. Is it pulsing? Is it pulsing? Probably not. See you later, guys.